what would you like to leave with the viewers of Transbagel to continue to look even on Golden Eagle's page?
I started a journey into entrepreneurship, and there are other people who might be interested in becoming an entrepreneur. They may have an idea, and it's all about starting. And I think even within this particular pandemic period, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to try new things, that we are afraid to try in a regular season. This is the time that we could try, and we could push the buttons, and we could say, let me see if it works. I mean, we are all, I know I hear people saying that we not all in the same ship, but we're in the same storm, but we're all in the same storm, and we're dealing with this. There's Nobody's life remained intact. It was disrupted in some way, so don't feel that fear of disappointing yourself or disappointing the people around you. We all have to try doing things differently to survive this new season and the upcoming ones. So if you have an idea in your mind or in your heart that you've been sitting on for a long time, now is the time to start. If it is, you may be able to bake cakes, bake a cake, post it online. And it's also why I post my food online, because I love to cook. And, I think one day I want to open a restaurant.
Right. Or even have a show, Cooking with Candace.
Right? But never be afraid to share who you are, because those things will give you momentum to become what it is you want to be.
Yes.
So those people disregard those little steps, and, they don't realize that I am a huge fan and proponent of momentum. You see, momentum
and consistency. Because I know you mentioned that throughout our whole life. Yes.
Yeah, catch that momentum and go. But people don't realize the momentum that you can get from little steps. And you know what momentum is? In our terms, it's confidence. It's knowing that I tried something, it worked, maybe it failed, but people don't even understand that it's in the failures that you learn and you grow. Like, I didn't learn from winning. I didn't learn from winning. I learned from failing. Like, try new things. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Right now, in a pandemic, there's no shame in this game. Go for it. If it is bamboo earrings you could make, if it is, how to sew, do something. Do something. Don't just sit and feel as if there's no hope. There is hope. The hope is inside of you.
Correct. Would you say that you have been discovering new things in this whole COVID time?
Yeah, I mean, I always learn new things every day. We are very hard on ourselves. And when we are perfectionists, when we seek perfection, we become hard on ourselves. And in a regular world where you have all the resources at your disposal, it's very easy to fall into that convenience of perfection. But now, where we are stripped away in this particular situation of the pandemic, it forces us to get real and say, I can't offer it. This is just, we are all dealing with a stressful situation.
Yes.
And so we can't do the things that we used to do. You have to survive. Now it's about survival. So that takes away that desire or that possibility of even becoming a perfectionist.
Yes.
And for me, that was one of the greatest lessons for me in this COVID is just knowing who I am, being real about it, and understanding how much more energy I have from just being who I am, because I'm not reaching above and beyond myself to become like somebody else. I mean, people get tired when they are not themselves, because they're looking at the competition, they're looking at comparison.
Yes, be your authentic self.
But let me tell you now, one thing I learned as well, when you live in the spirit, life in the spirit, you don't have to worry about winning or losing. Whatever decision you make in that spirit is the right one. You will see that, because your life will have synchronicity. It will have flow.
Yes. That's the favor. That's the favor that's destined for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not about winning or losing. So once you move in the spirit, that loss is just life.
Yes, it's just like, and it's a lesson that
Yeah,
you might have to inspire others. Like I always tell people, the things that we
exactly.
encounter and our failures
Yeah,
is actually a message for somebody else. Like
yeah,
now, in a live or in an interview where you're talking to the
yeah,
world, now somebody like, oh my gosh, Candace been through that. I actually going through that right now. That's what she
yeah,
did. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. You know?
yeah.
Yes.
And one thing I learned as well is time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I somewhere in the middle of the pandemic, I started telling myself, I have all the time in the world, but I'm going to make the best of it. We have all the time we need to accomplish everything we need to do. I have all the
I
time in the
agree.
world, but I am
Yes.
going to make the best use of it, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it is in time. Sometimes we rush through time and we don't allow time to just play out. We don't allow the other person to have that say or that word in the conversation because we feel and we take on everything upon ourselves and we don't realize, hey, this thing is relationship, it's people, everybody have a part to
Yes.
play,
It's
I mean,
about
and
people. Correct.
it's about
Yes.
people, yeah.
Especially when you spoke about time, I think one of the things we're saying there is kind of knowing when it's remember God is the author and finisher of life. So he already know this is the season for Candace to do this, this is the season for Ghenere to do this is the season for you to pause,
Yeah,
the season
yeah,
to launch out or go back and tweak. So we're
yeah,
never late. We're
yeah.
always on schedule.
Always
We're
on
always
time, always on
exactly.
time, always on time. But we had to stop worrying. We had
Oh
to stop
yes.
worrying about if
And
it
it
is
goes
we on
back to Mark
time
and
or
Mary. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it goes back. I mean, until you have trust in the person that created this world, the author and the finisher, as you say, then you will always worry.
You will
Because
always
what
worry. But once
because
you
what
have
you
that
put in your
faith,
faith, what you put in your faith in, what you put in your faith in,
exactly. And not man, but God. But
not
Candace,
man.
if you had the opportunity to talk to the younger Candace, what would you tell her?
You know what? You're gonna end up right where you need to be, Candace. So much of my worry made me walk in the wrong direction. If I knew that it would work out, I wouldn't worry.
You wouldn't worry. Yeah.
I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry. But I don't know it's gonna work out. So worry is really,
And a lot of the things that we think is like a major problem now, in a couple of years, we realize,
you know what? We all going to go through these major problems, but the key word is we all going to go through it. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it, but we don't have that confidence in ourselves that say you can make it, Candice.
yes.
You're a warrior, you're a fighter, you're a soldier. We don't believe in ourselves. And honestly, I didn't believe in myself until I realized that God believed in me, and I was like, God believe in me?
But
Well, I
then you
believe in
believe in
me.
yourself. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you are who he says you are. And that is
Yeah.
walking that every day.
I had too many hurts and pain inside of me to look in the mirror and see what God saw.
Yes.
I didn't have the eyes of God, and it was just seeing myself how he see me. I like, way.
And even when people look at this, they will be able to relate because there's so many broken hearts going on every day thinking that they are the cause or they're not worth accomplishing a lot of the things that they want to. But to see that we believe who God says we are and we have passed that, because I've been through that season as well. It's like we have now conquered with him and through him.
Yeah. But we always we're watching everybody, we're watching other people and what they're achieving, but I think it's something that I read somewhere. I don't know if it was in the Bible where it said, don't compare yourself because you will either come up short or you'll find yourself better than, and then you will not be humble.
Humility.
So stop.
Exactly.
Yeah. So don't compare yourself to others. And I went through all these things, but honestly, it just took me becoming in alignment for me to understand how God sees me, for me to let everything else fade away.
Yes.
For me to be able to focus on loving others. That's it.
So loving
others.
And that's your
Yeah.
priority. And again, it become your driving force and everything. So
Yep.
Candice, what would you, your closing words, I mean, what would you really like to leave for everyone?
Um, what would I like to leave? You know, mercy. I think somebody said it earlier, up in the first chat about, now is the time for co-vision,
Co-vision, yes, Mikhail, yeah.
co-vision and
Co-vision.
empathy.
And empathy.
And you have to be the change you want to see. And I didn't know that. I thought I could have changed people, but I only had to change myself. And that alone will impact the people
Yes.
around me. Just a little bit of love. A
Yes.
little bit of love. I've seen it. I've seen the energy change in rooms, in relationships with a little bit of love. I've seen it, right? So I have now let go of trying to change people, trying to change the world. But I understand people get angry and rightly so. Rightly so, you feel as if people should know better. But there's no compassion, there's no mercy. There's no mercy. Even in the whole situation with the elections. I was taking my vote personally. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to give my vote to somebody that I didn't feel deserved it. But as God say, he said, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and unto God that which is God's.
Which God.
And, what he told me, he said, what do I want? And I said, peace. And he said, well, peace comes through mercy, and mercy comes through forgiveness. And we cannot have that peace if it is we pushing and fighting people. Now, there is that thing, I think they talk about righteous indignation, but we have to love, but we have to be merciful.
Merciful, yes.
Right? Because,
Yes.
you cannot stone the woman while she is down. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. But yet we stoning and canceling people,
Like if
mercy.
we have the power to. Like if we even have the power to. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it's about having mercy and understanding that we are all going through something at this particular time, and we all dealing with something. We're dealing with a history. For me, it was about going back and understanding the history for me to really, truly empathize and understand what was happening.
That you said history, and I just want to make sure everybody kind of grasp that in terms of sometimes we need to remember that the reason why some people are who they are, it's because of what they've been through, as a child and in their own history. So that's where our empathy comes in, and understanding and the mercy that you just spoke about.
Trauma. But we take offense, and you know what is offended? Our ego. Our ego loves to take offense, and we have given up our control by, being offended. But it's to not be offended. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal.
Candice, thank you so much on behalf of Golden Eagle and also with myself. Sometimes when I'm lost in the conversation, I forget that we're even in a live. You just feel like you're just talking and you're just inspiring others. Continue to be who you are. Continue to allow yourself to learn things as you actually have the responsibility of the world, of to impact the world one person at a time.
Yeah, it is one by one we make a million. Thank you very much. Much love. One love. Keep safe, everybody. Do your duty to keep safe and be responsible at all times. I am saying to be on lockdown and lock yourself away, but do the things that you could do within the parameters of our safety guidelines, But stay safe.
Correct.
Let's all do our part to move past this pandemic. All right. Take it easy. Bye-bye.